Hi everyone. I've just finished the first part of my exams for the end of this rotation, and I would like to share to you about my challenges of reading. I am a very bad reader. Ever since I was young, I used to spend all my time playing video games, watching TV shows on Nickelodeon and Disney Channel that I never had the habit of reading. My perspectives on reading only really changed in my first year of university when my girlfriend, who in contrast to me used to read a lot as a kid, started encouraging me to read more. And it was through my discussions with her where she challenged me on what my notions were at the time, which was just to have fun and do things that you enjoy, that I realized that maybe reading was also something that I should pick up as well. I realized through talking to her that I knew very little about things that were beyond my day to day routine and beyond the scope of things that I would normally focus my attention to, and decided that I would want to start to pick up reading as a habit. At the same time, I used to watch this YouTuber called John Fish, and he set himself a challenge at around the same time where he was going to read one book a week for a whole year. I knew I couldn't do this, but so I decided that since when this whole phase took place, it was around the end of first year, just before summer. So I told myself that I would try a small scale version of the same challenge where I would read one book a week for 8 weeks. This was extremely difficult for me. People who read regularly don't realize how hard it can be for someone who doesn't read at all to actually pick up a book, because we are too used to having information passively flow into us through watching YouTube videos where you have amazing graphics and edits and sound effects and audio, that you sort of lose the ability to learn to actively obtain information from plain pieces of text yourself. And this was a big challenge for me. There were many reasons why I was a terrible reader and why I still am a terrible reader. One is because I picked books that I didn't necessarily want to read. I just thought, it would be very useful for me to learn the knowledge of this book. It would make me more well read. It would make me know more about things I didn't know. And I still believe that to this day. So it's not a mentality that I have been able to change yet. I also have this problem where when I read a book, I force myself to read through every single line, even if I'm reading through bits that are placed there to be used as connecting sentences in between important ideas that the author is trying to convey. I somehow find myself often forcing myself to read through line by line, word by word, and vocalizing those words in my head in order to make me feel like I've really gone through the book by the end of it, which is not very useful because you didn't actually have any more takeaways than you otherwise would if you didn't read those lines. Other challenges I have with reading is I often forget the bits of content that I've just read, and I find myself having to actually go back to that sentence and actually read through the whole thing again, even though I'm pretty sure that, forgetting about it or missing that point would not have changed the overall message that I would take away from the whole book. A lot of these little factors have, as a whole, made the whole reading experience very unenjoyable for me, and which is why, despite having, forced myself to do one book a week for 8 weeks, which I thought would actually help me turn it into a permanent routine after going through that sort of intense crash course. That never happened because I just found myself being extremely drained after those 8 weeks. Yes, I had met the arbitrary goal I set myself, which was a book a week, but I didn't actually enjoy the process of reading because I had to turn a lot of my friends away to catch up over the summer holidays in order for me to go all the way to my university library to read. And I also found myself, because I wasn't reading books that I cared about or was very interested in, I didn't feel like I had many takeaways, nor did I feel like I remembered much of the content because I was too focused on, reading at a speed which was way beyond of what I should have been reading back then. But reading is important. I can't really explain why, but I think it's important that we, try build these habits that we see successful people around the world all do. And sometimes you won't know how good it is until you've given it a proper go to realize the benefits, or, or at least find out that it's not the right thing for you. So I am interested in trying to work on my reading. So I will be releasing videos in the near future, sharing my experiences of trying different techniques to make myself be able to enjoy a book more, as well as to learn to have solid, concrete takeaways from each book by perhaps writing some summaries or creating some short book reviews on YouTube. Sorry, the video cut itself just now. So just to end off the video, the point of me documenting my journey with these attempts to learn new reading techniques and how to improve my reading is not to teach other people how to do so, but actually just to show everyone that hopefully it is possible for someone like me to get better at reading, because I have spent a lot of time trying to work on that already, and it is frustrating sometimes when progress seems to be very slow. But hopefully one day when I do get better at this, that people can watch back on this video and realize that, whatever challenges that they have, that they really want to work on, that they could do so as well. And that's about it. So thank you for watching.